What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 53 of the Offshore Gamescast. Dave!
Dylan! I sound like fucking Tim. Remember I told you about Tim? Dylan! Yeah, work shit. Work stuff, you know. Anyway.
I don't like Tim.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of people.
Episode 53. We're over a year now.
We've been over a year.
We have been, but now it's like, 52 weeks in a year. Even though it's been over a year, it's like 53. It's like we have more episodes than weeks in a year now.
Like official, like mainline episodes.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Because otherwise we are over that.
Yeah, we're like close to 60 or something like that.
Trust me, this is a special moment.
Okay.
One quick thing before we jump into video games. Dave, you know Philip and Nave from the Gaming Together podcast?
Yeah, you're Philip and I'm Nave.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 53 of the Offshore Gamescast. And then I'm Nave and I'm
fucking Nave.
And I'm Philip. Perfect impressions. We were on their show, the Gaming Together podcast. That came out on Friday. Go check that out. It was a lot of fun. The point was to talk about the Anacrusis, and we mostly talked about other stuff, and then some Anacrusis.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It goes off track, but that's when things are good.
It's always fun getting to either guest or just talk with other people.
Yeah, it is. Especially on other people's shows, because all we gotta do is show up and talk.
That's what we do here.
Well, no, I do a lot of work. I didn't have to edit anything. I mean, like I didn't have to.
Yeah, but that's after that's like offshore late night.
Yeah, there was no late night. It was just talk and then leave, and then fucking Philip had Gaming Together late night.
Yeah, you did.
I was there.
What are you doing?
Well, it was enticing.
You're so far away.
I know. I showed up. Anyway, go check that out. Dave, we haven't talked about video games for 3 weeks because the season ended and then there was a break and then all we did was talk about Summer Game Fest. I got a lot of games to talk about and some new shit, which is like a few weeks old at this point. And with social media, it's just not new anymore.
Yeah.
But I started Mario Strikers Battle League. Mixed feelings on this game.
Oh no.
Really liked it. Like the gameplay itself. All right. So this is the arcade soccer Mario game. The sequel to the GameCube one. It hasn't nothing since GameCube. And the core gameplay is really good. It's a lot of fun. So you jump in and it asks you like, have you played this before? Or do you want to do training? I was like, well, I haven't played it since GameCube, so I'm going to do training. That takes like about an hour. It's a very in-depth tutorial.
Oh my god, I would skip the fuck out of that.
If you do, you're not gonna do good.
Jesus Christ.
It's like each little segment of the tutorial is like, all right, now here's this type of pass and this type of pass. Now do them each like 5 times within this time limit. So it's like it teaches you and then it tests you. You go to school.
It sounds like they're building you up for some competitive league that hasn't come out yet.
Well, we'll get to that. There's a few different modes in this game. So there's quick play, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's just you quickly jump into a game just to play. Then there's really the single player mode tournaments where there's different cups and you pick your team of 4. And you play through. It's a 2-loss elimination thing. So there's like the main bracket of a tournament, and if you lose, you get sent to the losers bracket. And then if you lose again, you're out. So you have to lose twice to actually be eliminated. So let's say you win like your first 3 matches all the way to the championship, and then you lose. They then have to beat you again to actually win the championship. So you get 1 loss. Those were all extremely easy. And then unlocked galactic mode. I think that's what it's called. Where it's the same tournaments but harder. It is way fucking harder.
It's like 150 cc.
It's like 5 million cc.
That's harder.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. I stopped after I don't know if I got through the first tournament. If I did, I only got through the first one. And then I had to stop because it was too hard.
Did you see, there was a TikTok I saw where someone was talking about Mario Kart going 50cc. And it said, this going 50cc isn't even a race. It's just Mario's casual drive home from work.
Yeah, it is.
And they specifically was on the map. I don't remember which one it was. I don't know if it was like the Yoshi one, but it was the one that had like cars driving on a highway. And he's just like going around the cars, just like, let me switch lanes real quick.
Okay, so that original tournament mode is that.
Okay.
It is quite easy. Like, I don't think I lost a single match out of all the tournaments, including the final one. And then, then it jumps to 5 kabillion cc. And gets way too hard. Way too fast. There's, like, no middle ground. Also...
Is this the Dark Souls of soccer games?
No, because it felt cheap. It did the thing where it's like, oh, they can just shoot the ball for, like, from anywhere and it's just going to be a goal. And all of a sudden, their goalie is way too good. Like, that shit.
Skill-based matchmaking.
Of course, yeah.
Fucking
exactly.
Nintendo.
So, that is pretty much it for single-player content. And this game costs $60.
Yeah.
So, unless you really like quick matches, or maybe you have, like, a sibling or a friend or a partner that you both, like, plan on sitting down and playing this against each other a lot, I don't see this price tag nearly worth it for just one person.
I was going to say, is this one of those games that makes you have Switch Online?
I believe... So I just have Switch Online, so I'm not entirely sure if you need it. But I would imagine you need it to play the online mode, which I'll get to in a second. I do want to touch on gameplay a little bit, very briefly. There's not much to talk about because it's soccer. There's like multiple different types of passes and stuff, and it's all very timing based.
You love rhythm games, though.
So, honestly, it kind of is like that, because it's the thing where it's like, if you pass it as soon as like you're about to receive a pass, it's a better pass to the next person. It's like faster and stronger and more accurate. And then if you pass it again, like as soon as they receive the pass, it's that again. And then if you shoot it as soon as you receive the pass, it's a more accurate and faster shot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it is like very, like you're supposed to try and get into a rhythm. My main core team, because, all right, every character, which there's not a lot, honestly, but every character has different stats, which are like speed, strength, accuracy, technique, which helps you with special shots, which, you remember in the trailers, it would do the thing where, I don't know what the art style is, but it gets like very anime, and it has the like, I almost want to call it like sketchbook.
Like a motion blur, like cartoony.
Yeah, it is really cool. So every character has a special shot like that, which if you nail the timing, it does like the meter thing where you have to stop it in one spot and then it bounces back. You have to stop it in another.
Yeah.
If you time that perfectly within like the right spots, it's a guaranteed, it counts as 2 goals and it's guaranteed to go in.
Okay.
And if you do the timing like half right, it still has like a high chance of going in, but it might be blocked. Anyway, that's what the technique skill is. It's easier for characters with high technique to do that. So I had a pretty decent mix. My team was Mario. He's my all-around guy. Then there was Peach. She's my speedster. She's quick. Then Rosalina. She had, I believe, it was really good shooting and strength. And then for my big boy in defense, I had Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
Yeah. I will say, all the characters have like little celebration movies that play when they score a goal. Mm-hmm. And there's one where Donkey Kong gets really happy and excited and he's like bouncing up and down. It's like really adorable. Aww. It's like seeing like, you know, when puppies get really excited and they do the thing where they're like bouncing up and down on their front legs and stuff. Yeah. Reminds me of that. Even though it's not what Donkey Kong is doing.
Yeah.
Same vibe. So that's the gameplay side. There's also gear, which I'm going to get to in a second because it ties into the online mode, which has good and bad aspects. The good is you can make your own club, and it has pretty, for like a game like this, that's not a simulation sports game, has pretty decent customization where you could just name it whatever you want. I'm sure there's like, you can't name your team like the fuck asses or something.
Fucking Nintendo.
Of course, blocking all the good names like fuck asses.
Oh, God. Peacock.
Peacocks might work.
Dick penis.
I don't think that'll work.
Come on, Nintendo.
So I was the Tarnished because Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose your like home and away jersey colors and then the designs on the jerseys themselves, which is cool. And then they have a pretty decent amount of choices for like your main logo emblem and then the background. So I had like 2 swords that were like, you know, the cross swords with like a shield background. And it's cool. It's the coolest team on the block.
Oh.
You get to choose one character as like your main character. So I chose Peach because I like being quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have anyone else in your club, when you go to like play an online game, it will just give you 3 random characters. Like you don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because sometimes the balance is just completely wrong.
You're just hoping for RNG at that time, which will just fuck you over, especially if the CCs are 5 kabajillion.
Yeah, well, there's no CCs. The CCs are a little all over the place because you're playing against other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially if they're 5 kabillion jillion, you're fucked.
Jillian.
Yeah. If you have someone, so one of my brothers joined my club at some point, and his character was Waluigi. And then I always had Peach and Waluigi on my team whenever I played online, and then 2 random characters. So I'm not entirely sure what happens if you have like 10 members in your club. I don't know if it just gives you 4 random from the club then.
Mm-hmm.
But this also kind of ties in to the gear I was talking about. So you could purchase gear with coins that you earn through like playing the tournaments and stuff. And they will change stats in a way where it does like +2 speed, but -2 technique. So it's basically like, yeah, put gear on and try and min-max your characters to have a good balance between your whole team. So my Peach, like I put gear on Peach, and my Peach in my club will wear that gear. My brother's Waluigi has whatever gear he put on him. Then you get your random characters and they have no gear. So you just get like base levels of characters where if you're playing against someone with multiple people in their club, they're going to be like decked out in the way they like.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of shitty.
Like, where the fuck is the balance?
Yeah, you should be able to, if you don't have that many people in your club, you should be able to just pick the characters you want then. And if you have gear equipped on them, like, they should just be there.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the whole
game.
I don't understand the logic behind those choices. It's fucking Nintendo, you know?
Yeah.
They make a good thing, they put online in it, and they somehow fuck it up.
That's Nintendo.
The Tarnished played 25 online matches that first day for hours. I played it literally all day, and I went 21-4.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did really good. Playing with one other person on your team online, because I did play some with my brother, is weird. Because when you play... So first off, when you're playing by yourself, you've played sports games, right?
Yeah.
You know, so let's say like in a soccer game, you pass the ball. You have the ball, you pass it to a teammate. It will automatically switch over to you controlling that person with the ball now.
Mm.
It doesn't do that because you're playing with someone else. So like if I pass it, it will automatically switch to him. But the UI for his character, like let's say we're wearing a purple jersey, so it's like a purple indicator.
Mm-hmm.
We both have that same indicator for who we're controlling. So it gets very confusing very fast about where you actually are. Because it's just kind of like one universal camera that follows the ball, not really like whatever character you're controlling.
Mm.
So I'll be thinking like, oh, I passed, and now I'm going to control this character, but then it's my brother, and then I'm not that character, but then the other team gets the ball, and we both switch characters, but we don't know who is who, so I'm guessing I have to like do the thing where I run around a little bit to figure out who I am. But while I'm running around, the other team's scoring. You see the problem?
I see a lot of problems.
Exactly. Also, I have had, specifically in online, and this might not be a Nintendo thing, could just be the people I was connecting with, there could be some pretty bad lag problems.
Which is terrible for a sports game.
Right, and I say that it might not be Nintendo, it might be people I'm matching up with, because playing Switch Sports, there were a couple hiccups, which like is going to happen in any online game, but for the most part, Switch Sports is like really good online in terms of that. Like not really many connection issues, like everything runs smoothly. I had frames dropping pretty consistently playing online with Mario Strikers, so I don't know what the deal is there.
There's a lot of problems here.
And that's the thing. It's that, all of that, and the fact that it costs $60.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to cost $60, at least put, like, a cool, weird Mario Soccer campaign in there.
At least.
And have a more fleshed out online mode. There are seasons, and when the game first came out, it was, like, the first week and a half or 2 weeks was, like, before the first season started. I haven't played it since the first season started, so I don't know what that's all about. I think it's just kind of like global rankings of like, if you finish with this record or this many coins you get from winning games, and like next season you'll start in a higher tier or some shit. Mm-hmm. But that's still not like enough, you know?
No. And this game's going to go on sale, what, twice a year?
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Because of fucking Nintendo. So, mixed feelings. I think the core gameplay is a lot of fun. And it is a really good arcade soccer game.
It's just too empty.
It's way too empty, and it's too expensive.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to something that's not empty and is not too expensive. Neon White. This game fucking slaps in all the good ways.
What I love is that, like, how into it you are, but had no idea what it was. And, like, for the past year, I've been like, oh, yeah, there it is again. It's like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
I only saw it. I first saw it, it was Summer Game. Yeah, Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
Because they had a trailer there. And, yeah, last week we were talking about it. I was like, this game looks cool. And you're like, did you not know it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It rules. It's really good. So, this is...
The story of a girl...
No, it's actually the story of a guy. It's a first-person shooter mixed with a card system mixed with a speedrunning game. And...
Well, visual novel that with a focus on speedrunning.
Yeah, the visual novel part is there, too. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
My concern just from watching trailers and stuff, or from the Summer Games Fest thing, was that it would be way too hard to keep track of everything. Like, oh, I have to build this deck, and there's all these cards, and I have to know what is selected. It is not like that at all. It is designed so smart.
Yeah.
Like, it is... Okay. It's not a deck building game. Yeah, okay, you know, let me set up the story here first, because it is also a visual novel. Mm-hmm. You are a demon. You were sent to hell for your sins in the real life. And you've just been in hell, you know, toiling away. And then you show up in heaven with no memories as a neon. And a neon is, it happens once a year. There's a competition up in heaven because sometimes some demons start to like kind of, you know, go at heaven a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we don't like that. So we're going to pluck like 100 demons from hell and make them kill these other demons, and the winner gets to stay up in heaven for a year until next year's competition.
Huh.
You win by killing the most demons and doing it quickly, hence the whole speedrunning thing. Mm-hmm. Everyone has a mask that they put on you there. If you try to take off the mask, boom, you explode and die immediately. So you play as Neon White.
Sounds like Death Race.
It reminded me kind of The World Ends With You, in the sense that, well, everyone's dead. And you're in this weird afterlife game competition. But just like The World Ends With You, you're a little sketchy on, like, what's actually going on here.
Death race.
There's been multiple times where the main character and other characters have questioned, like, this game makes no sense. If there's demons kind of come up in heaven, why isn't God just, like, get rid of them in 2 seconds?
Smite.
Exactly. There's, like, they're questioning what's actually happening here.
Damn heavenly government.
Also, I will say winning the competition and getting to stay in heaven for a year is not... I won't go into the story details, because half of this game is a visual novel, but it's not as pleasant as you think. It's not like you just get free reign to just hang out in heaven and do what you want. It's not like that.
Yeah.
So you are neon white. And so, like, your whole aesthetic matches. You have a white mask. Complete amnesia. But there seems to be a core crew of people that you, like, rolled with in life. So there's neon red. She has, like, a red mask. There's neon violet. Has kind of like a violet mask. Neon yellow. And a little bit later on, neon green. They all remember you. They all know who you are. Those seem to be your actual names. Or it's just how everyone remembers them. So you're, as you're playing through the game, the whole story thing is you're kind of unlocking memories through the whole visual novel thing and kind of like piecing together what actually happened that caused you all to die and why you were bad people to begin with. While also trying to figure out what's going on with this game and how do we, like, break it. That's the goal. Because no one wants to get sent back to hell. No one wants what the actual prize is, or at least the people that are kind of, like, in the know about it. And I'm trying to skirt around all of it without going into details. All right, let's talk about how the gameplay works. It's completely level based. It's like you jump into level 1. And so first off, it's not a deck building game. You pick up cards throughout the levels, and a card will give you a gun. You always have your katana as, like, your base weapon. And the goal is to kill all the demons in the level and reach the end within a certain amount of time, as quick as possible. So you pick up a gun, and they're all, like, normal guns. So, like, there's a shotgun, there's a pistol, there's, like, an assault rifle, there's a few, like, SMGs. They all have a different color assigned to them. Where it gets interesting is that you can use them for a certain amount before the card, like, depletes and then breaks. It's like ammo. But if you discard them before they run out, they all give you different... They'll give you, like, a different ability. So, like, the yellow pistol, if you discard it, you'll do a double jump. The pink assault rifle, if you discard it, you throw, like, a bomb, like a sticky bomb, that will explode and kill everything around it. But also, if you, like, throw the sticky bomb on the ground and jump on top of it as it explodes, it gives you, like, a big boost into the air.
That's cool.
So all sorts of different stuff like that. The shotgun lets you, like, it, like, shoots you forward wherever, in whatever direction you're facing. There's, like, a green stomp thing that shoots you straight down. So it is very much so a platformer as much as it is a first-person shooter. And the level is designed in a very smart way where it's like, here's your start, here's the path to go through, the demons are along the path, and they're going to have the different cards already sitting there, or the demon that you kill, like there's the green demon, they're going to drop the green gun that lets you do the smash thing. They're, like, all set throughout the level. So that's what I mean where it's designed very smart. It never gets too much.
Yeah.
I'm never sitting there, and it doesn't... You'll never have a time where you have, like, 15 million cards. You can only have 2 types of cards at once. So if I have the yellow pistol and the red shotgun, and then I pick up a green SMG, it will automatically discard my oldest weapon.
Okay.
So it's never too much. So you get different emblems based on how quick you finish it. When you first go into a level, you know nothing. You don't know the target time, nothing. you finish the level, and depending on how quick you do it, you'll either get a bronze, silver, gold, or like platinum. I don't remember if platinum's the actual word. If you get bronze, it will unlock. It'll like let you see your ghost in the level, so you know like you can like try to race it to do a quicker time. If you get silver, it unlocks a hint, which will be like a little hand mark in the level, and if you touch it, it kind of gives you like a, hey, go this way. You'll be able to finish the level a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. And then if you get gold or platinum, it will unlock the gift in the stage, and you rank up your neon rank. Your neon rank needs to be a certain amount to move on to like the next set of missions. I have had no problem. You start with 100 or it's like 115 or something. I have 35 levels left, and I have not had much problem getting the platinum on every single level, which I plan on doing that through and through. Mm-hmm. And then the gift will unlock in a random part of the level, usually somewhere in like a very weird kind of off to the side area, and it becomes much more of like a puzzle platform of how do I use these cards that I can find in this level, in this area to get to this gift. Like, it doesn't matter how quick you do it. It's just kind of like, how do I get to it? Yeah. And you pick it up, and it's an item for one of the other neons. Or an angel. Which, I just want to say, everyone sees angels in different ways. So, like, you see them as floating cats in clouds. Ooh. But then, like, you can get drawings from some characters of, like, how they see the angels. And one of them is, like, neon yellow. He's like, bro, he's like one of those. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, yeah, my guy looks like John Cena. And then you get a drawing later on. It's like, oh, that does look like John Cena.
Okay.
So everyone kind of sees it differently based on their personality. So that's how the levels work. Tie it back into the visual novel. You get a mission, which is usually a set of 10 levels. Then you go back to a hub. And there's little spots in that hub that you can like go to. And there will be different characters there that you can talk to. And you give them gifts based on whatever ones you found. You don't have to actually choose. It's just like, oh, I found the red gift. That's for neon red. The yellow gift is for neon yellow. Yeah. And it will give you side quests, which are very interesting. Because they are all very tied into the character that they're for. So, Mr. Neon Yellow, who's a total bro and kind of an idiot, you can't use the card abilities in his levels. So they're meant to be kind of like brute forced in a way. Oh, okay. Neon Red is very like tricky, quick on her feet. So it's all about like using abilities quickly. Neon Violet is like a total sadistic lunatic. So her levels are just like, there's one hit kill spikes essentially everywhere. Huh. So you unlock side quests as you give them gifts. You unlock extra dialogue and you unlock memories. So I'd imagine to get the whole full picture of everything, you need to do all of that. All the main dialogue is completely voice acted. That side stuff is not. They'll do the thing where it'll be like, someone says like, all right, and then like a whole like thing, and their character will just be like, all right, and then like that's it.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, but main quest is fully voice acted, and voice acting has been good, if not a little kind of anime stereotypical. Yeah, of like crazy girl sounds like the crazy girl. Mm-hmm. Bad guy has the like crazy laugh, like, you know. Yeah. But all in all, it's good. I am playing on Switch because it's only out on Switch and PC. And for a game that is extremely fast-paced, because, you know, if this game has performance issues, it kind of kills the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it looks a lot better on PC, but on Switch, I have not had a single hiccup in any way.
That's good.
Like I said, I'm sure resolution obviously is like not going to be as good.
You playing handheld or with the Pro Controller?
Strictly handheld.
Interesting.
I haven't done on the TV. I just love the convenience of just, I don't know, when I'm playing like PlayStation, it's like, all right, I'm going to get settled in, sit down, and like, this is it. With my Switch, I could just be like, I'm going to go hang out on the couch for like half an hour. I'm just going to pick up the Switch, sit down, and play. Mm-hmm. I love that. There's no setup. You just pick it up and you're in the game.
Every time I use my Switch, I kind of get into a thing of, I just kind of want to keep using my Switch.
Yeah. And then, realistically, it'll sit there for another month or so after that game you play.
Yup.
Until the next big whatever comes out. But, this game is fantastic. Like, the story I'm really into, the gameplay loop is super satisfying and is never too hard. Like I said, I have 35 levels left, so I'm, like, in the last third of the game. And I would say this is probably, like, I give it maybe, like, the 10-hour mark-ish to 100% it. So it's not super long. And in the latter third, like, some levels are starting to get kind of hard. I'm having to redo them quite a bit. Also, it does do the thing, at least on Switch, where I'm sure there's a key on PC, too, where you just hit the minus button, and it takes, like, maybe a second, and it just restarts the level for you.
Oh.
Because if you, like, miss a jump or fuck something up,
you immediately want to just start over and then just try again.
Yep, because you know you're not going to get it that run.
And which games like that need.
Yes. But when you get, like, that real good, like, when you run through a hard level and you fucking nail it, and it's, like, having to quickly use these abilities to kill these demons to move on to the next, like, it works really well. And pretty much every single level is like that. There's been no level that has been, like, poorly designed. And they're quick levels. Like, most levels, the platinum goal is 30 seconds or less.
Yeah.
So they're not, like, these long levels. Like, every once in a while for, like, a big kind of end of mission level, it'll be, like, 50 seconds.
Ooh.
I know, crazy. But it's never, like, too much.
I could be gone home in about under a minute.
Isn't that an achievement?
Yeah, and I think it took me like 8 or 9 tries to get it. I was just kind of bored and mad one night, and I was just, I'm gonna do it. And I look over, I'm like, pull out your fucking timer on your phone real quick. Because I should have gotten this achievement by now.
You know, as you said, like 8 or 9 tries, and I said, you're like, that's kind of a lot, but then think about it, and that's like only 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, literally. Like, I get to the end, and I'm like, really? Fuck! You tell me I gotta beat this game again? Like, the amount of times I beat that game that night.
Whatever you need to beef up your games beaten list.
Every year, just like, well, here's another one.
I did it. But yeah, this is a really well-made game. Pretty much on every front. This has, for probably the first time, for the first time this year, this is like the first big surprise indie game that got me this year. There's been cool indie games I've played, like Soundfall, I'm going to talk about that later, like games I've enjoyed, but, and like a couple of big AAA games I enjoyed, but for indie ones, this one is like the big standout for me.
Ooh, that's good. It has a really cool feel and aesthetic to it, so.
Yes. And it was only, I don't remember if it was 20 or 30. I want to say it was 20, but it might have been 30. Either way, well worth the price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Strikers is either 2 or 3 times as much money, and you're not getting nearly as much out of it.
And getting mad.
All right, Dave. Before I take a break, I want to talk about one more game.
Mm-hmm.
Kao the Kangaroo, which it's Kao, not cow.
Moo.
First off, I didn't realize that this was like a revisit to an old franchise.
I thought it was either like a remake or like a remaster.
So I don't think it's a remake. I think it's like kind of a sequel deal. Like, I don't think it's just like remaking the first whatever. It was like on Dreamcast or something. I didn't know that. I thought this was just like a new thing.
It just makes me think of Ty.
Oh, the
Tasmanian Tiger.
Yeah. Didn't that just have a thing recently, or am I making that up?
It had, I think they remastered 1 and 2.
Okay.
I think it might have been in PAX.
Maybe that's why I'm like thinking of it.
Mm.
I thought, okay, I saw this game and was expecting a different type of 3D platformer.
Yeah.
I was expecting a Mario Odyssey, obviously not this level.
Yeah.
But that type. I was expecting like a Banjo-Kazooie ukulele type deal. It is more of a Spyro, but I would say maybe even less open than a Spyro. Because Spyro, like, there are levels, but they can be like pretty wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So that immediately was like a little okay. I don't like this game at all.
Yeah.
The jump feels pretty floaty. The combat is so nothingness. Like there's no impact. So you're punching. You're just pretty much hitting one or two buttons like light, heavy. And like you'll be punching there's like these little crabs that like level 1 enemies that don't really do much. But you're punching them as like going psh, 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 psh. Then they flip over and you're hitting them and then they just disappear.
Bye-bye.
Like there's no like death animation. They're just there and then all of a sudden like bloop, they disappear. And that is like, it's just between that and the combat feeling so like weightless and like the impact doesn't matter already sucks. The jump is floaty. The camera makes me want to die, especially when you go into a building. It's just because the buildings are not big. They're just like these little huts, but a lot of the fucking collectibles are in these huts and you go in there and it just sucks. It's terrible. It's like, it makes me miss the camera in Super Mario 64.
People love those collectathons, and I think there's a place for them, but I just don't think that they were never really fun for me. And I feel like back when they were a big thing, it's just like, all right, here's a new one, but I feel like games have evolved in such a way where like another collectathon comes out where it's something like that, and it's just like, what's the point?
So, I love me a 3D platformer, and I love collecting shit, but if you're just going to try and do exactly what the old games did without advancing it in some way, I agree.
Yeah.
I think if you do... So even Yooka-Laylee, which was very clearly, like, they were not shy about the fact that they were heavily inspired by Banjo-Kazooie. Like, that was not hidden. But that game, like Yooka-Laylee, the first one, I didn't play the weird side-scrolling one.
Yeah.
Still felt like a modern take on it. This doesn't. This feels like it was on the Dreamcast.
Like after all these years, they finally finished development.
Right, exactly. We gotta talk about the voice acting. KO sounds like, all right, sounds like an angsty teenage version of Christopher Walken trying to sound like John Travolta. It is really bad. Like,
I can't even picture that.
I wish I just had like a voice clip to where I don't feel like going through all of YouTube just to find it. But it's really bad. Like the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, but then like I kept hearing more. It got to the point where like I audibly laughed. I'm just by myself because of how bad it was. And then I started skipping cutscenes because I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I just kind of hit the point of, why am I even playing this game still? So I played this game for one night. And I don't think I'm going to revisit it. It was $30 and should have been $2. Mm-hmm. It's not a good game. And I love 3D platformers. I love the collectathons. Like, give me that shit. Give me a checklist of stuff to get and give me things to jump on. Great. Don't give me this game. Keep this game away from me. I don't see myself touching this game ever again.
Yeah.
It was bad. Boo.
Come on, KO.
Come on, KO.
KO.
It's because
KO.
He's a kangaroo and he has like boxing gloves and he boxes, so like KO, like knockout.
I'd rather watch Kangaroo Jack.
I think he was supposed to have like some sort of Australian accent like that or something, but it just wasn't.
Good day, mate.
No, I'll have to find you. I'll find a YouTube video and like text it to you someday, because it's bad.
Are you talking like Grease Tron Travolta or like?
So like, yes.
Weird.
Yeah. Like, hey, yeah, we gotta go do the, like, like that kind of. That was a very bad impersonation.
Sandy.
So, yeah, there you go. It's like if Christopher Walken wanted to try and do that and also sound like an American half shitting out an Australian accent.
Yeah.
Does that combination make any sense? No, it doesn't make sense because it's not normal. That's what he sounded like. All right, Dave. take over. Talk about a game.
Yeah, life takes up a lot of time. I have barely played any South Park, but in the interim of the downtime that I have had, I started playing Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, which goes back to, hey, I am using my Switch again. I kind of want to keep using my Switch, like that sort of feel.
This came out last year, or was that this year?
So the Sunbreak DLC is releasing soon. So it's either, I want to say possibly early last year, or somewhere in that realm.
Okay.
And out of nowhere, because she was into it, the lovely Emily purchased it for me, and just, here you go. I was like, oh, wow.
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. This is too early. But I was very excited because I want to hop back into it and play with her and Connor as well. And so far since starting it, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I like it better than World.
Isn't this more of like a traditional Monster Hunter than World?
It's still, it's very similar. You go around from the hub and you do expeditions, explorations. And there's like little maps for you to go around, and you have to walk around, highlight them. Like they have like these little clouds covering, so you got to like go around the areas. There's so many things that are similar to World, but for some reason I'm just enjoying it more. I haven't gotten a chance to get up to like the bit, like starting to fight an actual monster. I'm still going through like there's a few tutorial missions. There's like you got to kill some of these things just to start off. I went with the switch axe because I love the dual blades, but I wanted to do something different this time. The only thing I didn't do different was I have all the defender gear and the defender weapons because I suck at these games and I need all the help that I can get.
Does that just give you like a bunch of buffs and like on defense and health and stuff?
It's definitely like a boost because based off like, say there's the switch axe that you use, say it's like,
what's a switch axe?
Yeah. So I think this is the one where it transforms from a sword into an axe.
Does it like flip out like a switchblade?
Sort of, yeah. Like the axe is kind of like bent up, and then it'll like spring out.
That's kind of cool.
I haven't gotten a chance to like utilize that yet. Just going around, just swinging blindless. Like blindly, just trying to blindless. Just
if you're
trying.
Blindless, you're like really good at seeing, though.
Yeah, I'm really good at swinging. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just don't know what else to do with it. But I'm using that, and it's very slow, and it's not my preferred way of playing. But I wanted to do something different, so I was like, let's just completely change my comfort zone and see what this is like. It definitely looks cool, and there's some really awesome ones that you can make out there. But I killed a few. I don't know what the Jagras or whatever. They're like the little dinosaur things. They kind of look like a mini Velociraptor in a way, running around. And
how many? Like you could stomp on them?
Nah, you could stomp it. Like, do you know in Jurassic Park where you see those like really thin but semi-long neck little guys just running around? And
Littlefoot.
Like, no, that's a brontosaurus. Completely. Think of like a brontosaurus if it was just so scrawny and never grew up, and it was just like a chicken was a dinosaur.
It sounds kind of pathetic.
It is.
Okay.
And that's the point. These are like the little like,
yeah.
They just kind of get in your way, and you're like, fuck, like you just want to punt them.
At some point, it's just animal cruelty.
This is monster cruelty, and that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah. I get, yeah. All right.
So I've done that, and I have a few other expeditions that I got to do to like explore the area more, and then get back into like the normal monster tracking. But there are some really cool things added to this that aren't in World that I really like. So you have the wire bug, which is a cooldown. You get 2 uses of it, but it's like a little grapple where you hold like an aim and then you click to shoot it, and wherever you're aiming, it goes at like a certain set distance, and you just pull yourself up and like propel yourself into the air, and whatever, just you could go straight up, you can go just across. Like it's I feel like it's like utilized, it could be a really good way to dodge and just get out of the way really easily, but also used for the verticality, which is cool because there's like, oh, here's just like a lone rock. Like one of the first things I did was like, oh, I got to talk to this person there on top of this rock. I have to wire bug my way up there.
So it's their grapple hook that's in every game now.
Pretty much. But any game that has a grapple hook is better.
Yeah, I can't really think of any instances where a grapple hook hurt the game.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's just, grappling hooks are the best.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's just cool, and I'm walking around the hub area, just fucking around, just pulling myself and just shooting up.
Do cats still cook for you?
They do.
Okay.
The palicos are still everywhere. I have a little palico friend who's my little mailman.
Oh, Mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. He's like, I go up to him and he's like, yeah, here's your package. Oh, you got some mail.
Yeah.
You got something in.
I was trying to think exactly what like an MALE man would like.
A man.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what is he like really hunky? And he's like, that's what he does for you.
This is my cat man.
Catman man.
But you still can. It's not like as theatrical as it is in World. Like I can just go and like sit in my like tent when I go out on a hunt and just eat something, and like it's not gonna have all that fun dramatics. But that's not like the biggest deal or anything. It's always fun, but like after the first time or the few times, it's like, all right, here we go. Like I wouldn't mind skipping it.
Yeah.
The one of the cooler things is that you can again have like a little palico friend to come with you. It's not necessarily the same as in World, because you also get a palamute.
What?
Which is like basically like a big dog, and you can customize them as well. You can give them a name. I don't remember seeing any around in World.
What? So, Palico, I get. Calico, that's a friend. Cat. What's the play here with Palamute?
A Malamute.
Is that a type of dog?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
And he's your pal.
I understand that part.
Yeah.
It's the European version of an old Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I customized them all up, like chose like the little fur patterns and whatnot, and he's the one who will help like you fight around when you're out and about. You can also ride him and attack while riding him.
It's a mount.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of cool.
And on top of that, you get a little owl called a Kahoot. Which will help you, can help you, like, look around and see the area if you need to, like, get a vantage point, and, like, he'll just, like, be there. He's around in the hub. Just, there's a lot more animals in here.
That one's not your friend, though.
Well, he's still a friend. He's just...
I don't know. It's not a pal hoot.
Cohort.
Is it...
C-O hoot.
Okay. Cohort doesn't have the same...
Of course not.
As like pal though.
Paloot.
Yeah.
Cohoot.
Paloot.
It makes sense. It's good. It's an owl.
It's an owl.
I love owls. But I'm very excited to get back into it and be able to like go out and do more of these expeditions, especially like playing co-op with both of them. But I haven't had too much of a chance to get too far in. It's still, for some reason, more exciting than World is to me. And I don't know why.
I don't know.
But it's just...
unless it's like... Is it like a big difference in like the combat or like the camera angle or something? Or
no.
Is like the world design different?
I mean, obviously it's going to have like a different map and whatnot, but like to an extent, really, no. I don't know what it is.
Do you like the word rise better than world?
Come back to me on that one.
All right. That might be it.
That's gonna take a lot of thought.
That I think we might be onto something.
But it's good, and I definitely recommend it. Plus, with Sunbreak coming out,
yeah, I was gonna say now is probably a good time to play the game. With
definitely,
the
people are going crazy over it.
They were making a big deal about Sunbreak at wherever that was at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
All right, that's Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that's all I got for now.
All right, I got 3 more, but they're all updates, so it'll be pretty quick. It's been a few weeks since I talked about Soundfall. So quick little updates. There are 5 different heroes you can play as. You're not just Melody.
Ooh.
And they each kind of they all get their own melee weapon, so they all control a little different with like those abilities. I never really saw a reason to play as anyone but Melody, but it could also be one of those things where I got used to I got in a groove with her. And her playstyle, which is like kind of like the quick sword melee thing, is much more in tune with like how I like to play, as opposed to like, here's the guy with the big axe type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I got in tune with that, so I didn't really see much of a point. The game started to get harder because there's 3 different difficulties, and based on your level, it automatically will raise the difficulty. So I was on, I don't remember what it's called, but it put me on the hardest difficulty, and it gets hard. And I will say, part of my issue with this game is that some of the harder songs are because they're like, so like there's some different genres, and like in the forest, the genre of songs you're gonna get is mostly classical.
Yeah,
and they're in a lot of classical music. There's not exactly a bass or a drum beat to like get in beat with. So when you're trying to get in the groove of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to like shoot along with it, it doesn't feel natural with some songs that don't have that.
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel like it doesn't necessarily work the best in this type of rhythm game where it's all about staying on beat with a metronome essentially. And so it did a thing. All right. I think you'll kind of understand what I'm saying with this. I think you'll be with me. I don't like when a game is building towards something being like the end of the game, and you go into it like, all right, this is like the final boss. I'm doing it. I'm about to finish this game. And then that ends up being the halfway point. When I get in the mindset of like, I'm about to beat this game, I'm about to like, like I'm ready to like move on. I'm like already thinking about like, what am I going to fire up next? And then it's not, and it's like only the first half of the game. I'm immediately kind of like, all right.
I still hold that kind of grudge with Tearaway.
I never played that.
I had a good time, and then I beat it, and then there was another goddamn hour of just what felt like bullshit.
So that is kind of my issue here.
Yeah.
It does the first 5 worlds. You get one of the heroes of whatever they call it in each world. Each world has its like theme with different music going along with it, and different. I didn't mention this last week because I wasn't like too deep into it at that point. You get weapons with different elements attached to it that are strong or weak against enemies of certain elements, and you know that like the red level, it's not called fire, it's called like Bolero, I think. Your whatever they call water is going to be good against the fire. It's the Pokemon triangle. Yeah. And then like light and dark are good against each other.
Okay.
So I started to like use that, and loot, because this I'm going on a bit of a tangent. Loot got kind of annoying in this game because there is specific loot for each type of hero, or for each hero. So instead of me playing as Melody and getting strictly all Melody loot, I'm getting so much loot that doesn't apply to my character.
Yeah.
And then because of that, as I'm playing through, unless I start replaying levels for more loot, I'm kind of like, my loot isn't up to par with where it needs to be, and then it just takes too long to kill enemies, and it's just kind of like, oh.
Gotta start farming.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
The excitement of a rhythm game is playing through the song and then hearing a new song to play.
Yep.
So each world you get the new hero, and then all the heroes come together. It's the Avengers of rhythm games against the big bad. You have the boss fight, the only boss fight up until in the whole game at that point. You win the boss fight, and it's like, ha ha ha, you fell for my trap. This was my plan all along. Let's go through another 5 worlds that is kind of rehashing a lot of the same type of music I was just hearing before. And I kind of hit a point where, on top of that, they stopped introducing new enemies, and the game has a thing where like you can upload your own music and it will randomly generate a level to the beat of that song for you.
Mm-hmm.
The downside of that is a lot of the levels in this game, you end up seeing a lot of the same assets and a lot of the same like building blocks in a way where it's like, oh, hey, I've been in this type of level before. I know I'm supposed to go up here, and here's this little secret area where there's going to be a treasure chest. And I know then I have to do this thing. It's like, oh, this building block, I know where the traps are here, where the guns are firing off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On top of that, they just, at some point, stop introducing new enemies. So it's the constant same enemies and the same levels with similar music that kind of started to lose it for me. So I did go a good while. I think I was on like the second to last world of what should have been like world 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got bored. And I hit that point where I try to do this with games more now, where if I'm not having fun with it anymore, I'm ready to just say, I had my fun with this game.
Yeah.
I don't see the need to continue playing it. I don't need to see the end of this game. And I put it down.
Ooh, you haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah, I put it down. That's the second game I put down. Kao the Kangaroo as well has been put down. For the record, I'm counting Mario Strikers as beaten.
Yeah.
Because when you play through all the tournaments on normal before like the Galactic mode, it like plays credits and everything. That seems like an end of a game to me. So I'm counting it, just for the record.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy my time with this game. I did. I just kind of got my fill and then felt good about that. And then I started to get bored and it's like, okay, I got my 10 hours or whatever I put into the game and I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Quick update on Elden Ring, because I want to talk about Caelid, which is the southeastern area. Caelid sucks. It's red, and everything is really hard. I got kind of over-leveled at some point in Elden Ring, because I've been doing, like, everything I can find. So, of course, you end up over-leveling.
Mm-hmm.
Caelid has kind of brought me back to a From Software game. So, there's... everything is red. There's dog dinos everywhere. So imagine T-Rexes, but with a giant dog head that tries to snap at you. They're everywhere, along with these giant bird things. There was this crazy tower that you can't get into. You have to like scale the outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole crazy... I died a lot there. And then I get into the tower, which leads me to a boss that I was doing absolutely like nothing to.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to revisit this at a later point. I also found another boss to revisit at another point. It's like this whole part of Caelid really is brutal. But the main thing I want to talk about was the fight with Radahn. So spoiler warning if you care about like the boss fights and not wanting to hear how they go, because this is a main story boss. This fight was really fucking cool. It's like a competition that's held every year, because Radahn is just at this point like a blood craze. Like he wants to die as like a champion. He's basically like a beast at this point. And he wants to die like a champion. So like there's the Radahn festival every year where he shows up in this desert, and you and other people sign up to fight. And there's a whole like side quest involved, but all these characters that you like, a lot of characters you've met just in the world. The fight starts, and all along this desert are summon points where you just quickly tap a button on those summon points, and then all these NPCs that you've kind of met throughout, like the jar guy, whatever they called him at Jeff Keighley's thing when they brought out the big jar pot guy thing.
Yeah.
So he's Alexander, by the way.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that one's supposed to be Alexander. And you just find him out in the world, but then you could summon him in this boss fight, and it ends up becoming this really, like, epic fight where you have all these different NPCs with you that you've met, like, all fighting together with you. It felt like one of those big moments of, like, we're all going to team up together to take down the big enemy. It was cool.
That sounds really cool.
Also, you start really far away from the boss, and then you summon everyone, and then it's like, as he's shooting these arrows at you, it's like you're all charging up at him together in this long run to the fight. It's like it was a very cool moment.
That's awesome.
It was definitely the coolest. It got kind of brutal, the second phase of the boss fight, but it was like the coolest setup for any boss I've seen in this game yet. So I really enjoyed that. I wanted to talk about it. One more game, real quick. Trek to Yomi, remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Remember how I said it was on the final chapter?
Mm-hmm.
The game doesn't like me. I was encountering a glitch where I restarted my PC, I restarted the game was updated. I don't know what else I could have done. But, there's like the little like shrine checkpoint things. You run up to them, you interact with it, and it like saves your progress from there. It's a checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through this last mission, and I just can't interact with checkpoints anymore. Checkpoints also heal you. So there was no way for me to fix it. Like I could use all other buttons fine. Like everything else worked in the game, but checkpoints specifically I could not interact with. So if I died, it would send me back to the very beginning of the level because I couldn't save at the checkpoint or heal.
Yeah.
So I would have to get through the whole final mission with one health bar not dying. So that game, me and Trek to Yomi are on a pause right now. I don't want to say I'm going to put it down yet because of that.
Yeah.
But I need to wait until that's not a thing that's happening anymore. Because I do want to finish it.
I want to finish it too, and now you got me worried.
Right. Like I want to finish it, but if I can't have checkpoints, what are we doing here? You know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3 weeks of gaming. We're caught up. We're back to the normal groove of things. There was some news this week.
There was.
Not too much, but like some decent news.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick us off if you don't mind. Dragon's Dogma 2 was announced.
Finally.
So, this happened. I don't really agree with the way they did this. They had the Capcom event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned Dragon's Dogma, and they're like, yeah, we're going to have like an anniversary thing. It's going to be fun. Like,
we're having a show.
Yeah, like, come hang out with us. And it was like, I was waiting for it to be like, oh, and one more thing.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma 2. That didn't happen. And then they announced Dragon's Dogma 2 at the anniversary event.
Like,
I don't know. It felt very weird.
Why tease it? Why not just show everybody who's watching? Who the fuck is going to watch that? And then who's actually going to go watch the anniversary?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was very weird. All we know is that it's being developed in the Resident Evil engine, which, that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's a seemingly good engine.
Monster Hunter Rise is built on that engine.
Wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, right?
But it's a good engine, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
No further details, but this has been... Was this one of the games where, what was it, like 3 years ago where there was that huge E3 leak?
Yep.
And almost all of it came true?
Yeah.
Except...
I think that was one of them, possibly.
It was like this and a new
Either that or from
Cell.
the NVIDIA leak.
Right. It was like one of the... yeah. So, it's happening. Did you play Dragon's Dogma?
I had the first one, and then I bought the remaster, and I still haven't played either. but I want to.
I played some of the first one, and I remember the first area being hard, and a very weird specific thing to me. My eyesight sucks.
Yeah.
Even with glasses, it sucks. I had a really hard time with the subtitles being way too small and all the text in the game being too small, which I know is a really weird and random issue, but playing the game, I associate playing Dragon's Dogma with straining my eyes to the point where my eyes are sore and then not wanting to play anymore.
That's sad.
So I never got very far in the game. I'd give a second one a shot, though. Why not?
I mean, I still want to give the first one a shot.
Get your glasses ready.
And good thing I don't need them.
Yeah, you Mr. Are you 2020?
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. 2020.
I mean,
Who can smell a fucking drop of
Danger.
piss from 10 miles away.
Piss stinky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. As if my depression wasn't already bad enough.
Yeah, yep.
Apparently, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake was in the works before the merger with Blizzard. And it got scrapped. Tony Hawk confirmed this recently.
You stupid fucking idiots. You goddamn morons. You took away their name. You fucking threw perfectly good money into the trash. If I didn't fucking hate Activision and Blizzard before, there is no goddamn reason to like them now.
Okay, couple things. I agree with everything you're saying. I really wish we had video so everyone could see the way you were holding the microphone. Also, the way you were holding the microphone and speaking and shaking really gave me a wrestling promo vibe. you are
I'm
very,
coming
like,
for you, Blizzard.
You don't do it on purpose, but you bust out some good wrestling promos every now and then.
Shit.
You're basically a wrestler.
I get very animated when I get upset.
I don't know if you saw this, but apparently, like, they were saying the idea, like, even before 1 and 2 remake was done, that, like, the idea was like, yeah, we're gonna do 3 and 4 right after this.
Yeah, and then all of them. Because this is smart. And because it made a shit ton of fucking money. And because it was great.
It was really good.
You fucking idiots.
Yeah, they blew it. All right. You want to talk about some good news?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is happening. And we got a release window for it. So Rebirth is it's Remake Part 2.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's going to be coming so it's going to be Part 2 in a trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Which was that not officially I could have is it just like what everyone assumed was going to be happening?
I believe it's what everyone assumed since what one remake was, I've heard was like only the first like 5 to 7 hours of the original game, and they pushed that to like 35 hours.
Yeah, they like really fleshed it out.
And it was really good.
It was really good.
So at that, I assumed that it was definitely going to be more than 2.
Winter 2023, which is either like holiday 2023 or like a January 20. I think it's like the fiscal period.
Yeah.
So like it could be early 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Still a ways away, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
What's even more a ways away is the fact that they already have 3 in development.
Yeah. Which
I mean, when you're doing
it's Avatar.
Here's the thing. It is its own game, but it's not. Like it's like how they do the Mission Impossibles like back to back. It's like you already have just about everything you need. You're just doing more.
Yeah. Do you know? All right. When you played, all right, you haven't. We're both in the same boat. We're not like. Have you played the original Final Fantasy VII?
No.
So me either. We obviously know, like, and everyone knows whether you have or haven't played it. The ending of the original, with the whole Aerith situation.
Yeah.
I guess I won't say it out loud just in case. Okay. Were you confused at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, whatever the official title is, at the ending of the game, were you confused by what the hell was happening? Because I know I was, in like very Final Fantasy way.
I feel like I never know what's going on in Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So I did some research, and I got it for you now.
Okay.
Okay. You know the whisper things that were in the remake? The things that like Cloud would start seeing, the like black things that were like attacking things, and only he could see it.
The weird ghost shit.
Yeah. So those were controlled by some whisper leader person that was keeping all timelines in sync with the original story of Final Fantasy VII. It was making it so those events in every timeline always happened. At the end, I guess spoiler alert, at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, you kill the Harbinger or whatever the whisper leader thing is, which now is why after that it opens the door to major changes to the story.
That's where I thought you were going with this.
What that obviously everyone jumps to Aerith and that whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, is it gonna happen again this time? Also, we'll get to this, but it explains. Do you remember Zack appearing at the end?
Yeah.
Dude with the black hair.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be there. I'm gonna jump to the Crisis Core thing. I'm gonna do 2 news stories in one real quick. Before I come back to like people writing in. So Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion was announced as well. This is a remake of a PSP game that is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII where you play as Zack.
Okay.
Zack is Cloud's like mentor. That's how they know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler warning for the end of that game. Zack dies at the end of that game. Zack's not supposed to be alive. In Final Fantasy VII, there's no Zack. He's dead. He gets like gunned down. In this, I assume because you killed Whisper things, he survives the gun down attack thing.
Yeah.
And now he's here. So that's already like a major change.
It's so weird that it's a remake sequel now.
It's so right. It's technically a sequel.
Yeah.
Because it's an alternate
just a
timeline that broke the cycle. And now they can go any direction with it.
So weird.
I assume they're going to still stay like mostly faithful or like the same beats, but with, I don't know. What's going to happen with Aerith now?
Maybe they stop it.
Maybe it happens differently.
Maybe it happens twice.
It could. Timelines. I feel like we're not saying it, but I feel like it's very obvious what we're hinting at.
It's been so long since I've even played Final. It's been over 2 years since I played Final Fantasy VII Remake. I barely know anything about the original, but I knew about that.
I mean, like everyone.
It's one of the most iconic just scenes.
Yeah, but just in case, like I don't want to say it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope she doesn't stub her toe again.
I know it was so. It was so tragic,
so painful.
I asked the people, the fine people of our followers, what they thought of these changes, because as we know, Final Fantasy VII is it's a very highly regarded game.
Oh yeah,
and people don't like it when people start changing things in their highly regarded games. We got some responses. First off, from the Starter Quest podcast, at Starter Quest on Twitter, says, I'm fine with them changing the story. I just have no faith that Nomura is the man for the job, sadly. I'm going to read the other responses, then we'll kind of wrap back to that, because that's kind of the mixed reaction theme we got.
Mm-hmm.
PlayCube Gamescast, another gaming podcast, at PlayCubeGC on Twitter, said, love the changes. It's exciting to give this old tale a twist. Colbster17, this is Colby at Colby_Moyer from the Switch It Up podcast, says, Final Fantasy VII Remake is a love letter to fans of the original while serving as a springboard for new players as well. The story taking a new turn is a great breath of fresh air and one I have confidence they'll do well with. The characters, music, environments are also home runs. That's kind of, I think we're in the same boat. That's where I land with it.
Yeah, I mean, as the new players jumping in,
yeah,
I definitely don't think I could hop into Final Fantasy VII, the original, and have nearly as fun of a time as I did hopping into the remake.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I love the remake.
Yeah, and like we know some. If anything, it made me want to like. I know way more about the story of the original now, just from like being curious about the changes.
Yeah,
but we don't have like that connection, you know.
Yeah.
So, our buddy Nave from the Gaming Together podcast, that is at Game Together Pod on Twitter, says the changes have that trademark Nomura stink. They can do whatever they want, though. The original exists for me. So, mixed reactions on Nomura. He's Mr. Kingdom Hearts, who did the confusing Kingdom Hearts shit.
It's all so confusing.
People... Then he kind of took control of Final Fantasy VII, and not everyone liked that. That's when like major changes started to happen in Final Fantasy VII. So, mixed reaction to that. I enjoy me some Kingdom Hearts, even though it's confusing as fuck. And I could, like, Final Fantasy 15. Also, it explains the whole, like, hey, our main characters are all wearing, like, chains and shit now.
Yeah.
I like, some of the story that was happening in 15, too, was, like, kind of confusing to me. But I still got it for the most part.
I mean, yeah.
There was just some like world lore shit that was happening that was like, I don't really know what that means.
Yeah. But I mean, for the I feel like it had a pretty good job of just explaining itself, and just especially with those 4 characters.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, that core story between those 4 characters, like I felt a very strong connection throughout that game.
Absolutely.
With them.
I mean, if it wasn't for Final Fantasy 15, I don't think I'd be into Final Fantasy as I am.
Same exact boat with me. And I think Final Fantasy 15 is one of the few games that it's a wonderful example of the journey you go on with these characters is what makes you feel so connected with them.
Yeah. Even from the start of the game.
Right. And we both love the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Mm-hmm. So, mixed reaction for the most part, but mostly positive, which is pretty good for a beloved game getting big changes like this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Why don't you take 2 news stories? Because I just did 2.
Speaking of stuff coming back, apparently Lollipop Chainsaw, which no one has heard or thought about in however long, is on the return. Yoshimi Yasuda, executive producer, says it's back. That's it.
That's it.
All right. I mean, are we getting a remake? Are we getting a sequel?
It's back.
I played some of the original, and it's definitely interesting. It's one of those that I do plan on going back and finishing or restarting. But it, like the concept is fun, but it's like it also feels like the climate isn't right anymore.
It's definitely a different world and like social climate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It feels like one of those games that wouldn't be able to get made today.
No. It's very much so a game that's like, it was that era.
Yeah.
And that happened. But it's back. So,
all right.
I guess we'll see what that means at some point in the future.
Do we smell Game Awards?
Maybe.
Jeff?
Jeff, is that you?
Another interesting thing is that the Quarry and High on Life were apparently supposed to be Google Stadia games. Who still plays Stadia?
Uh-huh.
Both went their own ways after Google closed internal development studios. Google should never have started from the first place, but, I mean, these are, like, big games, which they needed.
Right. This was, like, when they closed out internal development and, like, lost these types of games, these are the types of games that would a major platform like people want to use it.
You idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my first reaction to this was good for the Quarry and High on Life.
Yeah.
It also might explain why the Quarry is like it's the sequel to the spiritual successor to Until Dawn, but not part of Dark Pictures anthology.
Because it was originally gonna be like, hey, you liked this? This is pretty similar, but you can only play it on the shit.
Right. And then yeah, High on Life. I mean, now we're getting High on Life is gonna be on Game Pass, right?
I think so.
So way better.
Absolutely.
Probably gonna get way more people playing it. But
oh yeah,
that was I wouldn't have expected that. We got some more Final Fantasy news.
Just doesn't stop.
This is a quick one. Final Fantasy 16 will not be open world. It'll be open zone.
I mean,
that's fine.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was the same.
Yeah, like you can have a sense of exploration and not be a huge open world.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are better not being a huge open world because it's just empty or nonsense filler.
Mm-hmm.
But I am kind of surprised just because after 15 having the open world.
Yeah.
And then
you think the next big main line would.
Yeah, and you just like kind of look at it like, oh, it's kind of like going back to like medieval roots and stuff. Like, I don't know, it just kind of screamed open world, but it's not.
It'll still be a fun game.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Final Fantasy 16.
DICE sucks. They've apparently come out and stated that they are basically only going to be working on Battlefield for who the fuck knows how long. They said they just don't have the time to work on anything else. And
that's
Battlefield
sad.
is not doing good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they don't have time to work on anything else except Battlefield, which is like it's had 2 flops in a row.
It has. And it sucks for me because like I was going through on the website their list of games that they've worked on over time. They've had like obviously some like old whatever. They moved on to racing games. They come into like the shooters. They've obviously fallen and just are Battlefield now. But it's like Mirror's Edge Catalyst came out a few years ago. And it wasn't well received, but like that was still a fun game and I would love another crack at it.
I think it's bad when you take a development team and you just tie them down to one franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know, it feels like it like hurts creativity in a way, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, they're now limited to just Battlefields, which you can, like, obviously they've had very different eras of what a Battlefield game is and settings, but at the end of the day, you're making this first-person shooter with the same, like, core.
Yeah. The only thing about Battlefield is like, hey, it looks pretty, doesn't it?
You could destroy everything. Tornadoes.
And a battle royale.
That's like that's as creative as they can get, though.
Literally.
Which is like, you know, I'm sure there's people there that would maybe want to do something different.
Absolutely.
But can't.
Give me more Mirror's Edge.
Or something like completely brand new. I'm sure they have ideas.
Battle Edge.
Whoa.
Mirrorfield.
No, that I don't like that.
Mirrorfield.
No, I'm picturing a field full of mirrors and you just don't know where you're going.
The reflections are alive with the field of mirrors.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 had a Nintendo Direct. Not going to go too deep into it because this game comes out in a month. And quite frankly, if you're interested in a deep dive in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you already have watched this. They went over just like main characters, party members, the battle system with classes, and I guess the big announcement was that there's the Collector's Edition and the expansion pass, because as we know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came with the golden something. It was like a big expansion.
Yeah.
So I assume the expansion pass will come with like that type of content.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty because if you want the nitty gritty of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you are already on this.
Yeah. Those dedicated fan bases are so dedicated.
And like, I am excited for this game, but even this, I was like, I'm going to play the game. I really kind of don't need this.
Yeah.
It comes out in a month. It's not like it comes out in 2 years.
No. So while it's already been highly rumored and pretty obvious that we're going to get a Mortal Kombat 12 at some point, Johnny Cage actor Andrew Bowen has apparently, in a deleted tweet, teased him standing in front of the WB studio or like near the logo in like a certain pose that just emulates, hey, more Mortal Kombat, and obviously deleting that sort of thing will only spice up that even more.
And why else would he be there?
Yeah.
Like, what else is he doing there?
I mean, it's coming. Give me Injustice 3 first, but we're going to be getting a Mortal Kombat 12, especially after the storyline of 11 and Aftermath, which felt pointless.
I still have to do... Oh, okay. Maybe I don't have to do Aftermath.
It's literally like you're just kind of doing some things over again just to come to the same conclusion at the end of 11.
Okay.
Like, it's just like...
11 was great.
11 was amazing.
It was like easily the best story in a fighting game I've played.
Absolutely.
All right. You want to close this one up with some... We'll do some notable game releases?
We got some notable game releases for some people. Coming
for some people.
June 23rd, we have Naraka Blade Point landing on Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One.
Also June 23rd, Sonic Origins, which I saw some people are unhappy about, like the music situation in that. Is coming on PS4, PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch.
All these are coming out June 24th. Starting off, we got Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes on Switch.
Then we got Madison, which is it's like a first-person psychological horror deal. That is coming on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch. So everything.
And lastly, the sequel to the original AI The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. See what they did there with the title?
Yeah. It took me, when I first saw that, when you typed that in, I was like, did he mean to do that? And then I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah. That'll be coming out on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch. A lot of just all around going on here.
All around. All right. We did it. Episode 53.
And things are changing.
I'm never going to see you in person again.
I am leaving my home.
Ah, yeah, I did the dramatic pause.
I am taking a little scoot skedaddle, and I am moving up to Connecticut.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we have worked together. I was going to say lived together, but we haven't.
Yeah.
We've worked together for many years at this point. And we've always done the show in person in my basement.
Well, there was that one episode.
You're right. There was one episode that was in your apartment.
Yeah.
But the show continues.
If there's any curiosity, you know why Dave hasn't been playing any fucking games? You know how much it takes to do all this shit? Let me just move to a new state, find a new job, sign up for school, get all this stuff ready. Jesus fucking Christ, I want to rip my goddamn eyeballs out.
But Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter I'm excited for, though.
Yeah, changes. There might be some like audio changes next week. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm in the process. I still got to look up like a good cheap mic to buy for now. I got to get my computer from the apartment, go and set it all up. I got to make sure the Wi-Fi is good enough and do this kind of figure out the best way to do, because we've done it over Discord once before, but there's definitely going to be, it's whatever Philip and Abe use that we could probably do really well.
Yeah, I'll ask them about that. Those good dudes. But yeah, well, stick with us through the little. There might be audio quality changes here and there, but we're gonna figure it out. Everything will be okay.
And for the longest time, I've had my little headset here, and it will be unplugged tonight.
I've basically owned your headset.
Yeah, it's the only real way that I have if I want to play games without using the TV. This is like it. This is my headset. This is what I use.
It's been here for a year.
I use it for like 1 to 2 hours every Wednesday night.
Yep.
And that's all it's been used for.
So just, a new era for Offshore.
Era.
A new era for Dave.
Oh, a new well-needed era
for this country.
Fuck this country.
A new era for the universe, really.
Yeah. Destiny's calling.
But the show will go on. We will still be back next week. We'll
Yeah.
be talking video games. We'll be talking news.
I'll
Things are
have
still
I'll have
happening.
time to play games.
He'll have time to play games. We still have fun things in the works to expand Offshore and what we are. It's still happening.
Oh yeah. It's too much fun.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Contractually obligated.
Well, there's no contract, but it does sound good.
Yeah.
We are signed by a big corporation.
NASA.
NASA.
It's the first one I could think of.
We are contractually obligated to NASA.
The next one was Kellogg. You pick.
NASA, definitely.
Gotcha.
Because we can like do it in space.
Yeah.
But free cereal.
I was just thinking the same thing.
So Dave is contractually obligated by Kellogg's, and I'm contractually obligated by NASA.
No
to
cereal
do
for you then.
The offshore. Well, I'll be in space.
Yeah, space.
In
space, no one can eat cereal.
I was trying to do a thing where like we'd both be in space with cereal.
Kellogg
Free
isn't
cereal.
going to send me to space.
NASA will. You're part of the. It's all a big collaboration for the Offshore Gamescast. Tony the Tiger will be there.
I don't know if you can have cereal in space.
I'm
Just doesn't
sure you
work.
could. It's just gravity won't help you.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't have it with milk, but I prefer dry cereal.
I like it with milk.
It's not that I don't like. So okay, first off, all right, let's do this. Give me like a vanilla almond milk over just regular old milk for cereal any day. And then on top of that, if I'm not scarfing that down in the milk, like I do like the coldness of it. And it does add a little bit of an extra flavor, but it gets soggy real quick.
Yeah.
And I hate soggy cereal. I love that crunch. So I will 8 times out of 10. I don't eat cereal that often.
Yeah.
But I would say 80% of the times I do, I just pour some dry cereal in a bowl and eat that with a spoon.
What's the point? Just stick your hand in the bag.
Because it can be hard to like, because especially depending on the cereal, it can be kind of hard.
You just
and then,
scoop it and just...
And then I like real sugary cereal, and then my hands get like sticky. I get sticky fingers.
No, I'm the opposite. I love Cheerios and Honey Bunches of Oats, which is like the most sugary one that I eat. I mean, I love like I'll go crazy and I'll buy a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch when I'm feeling naughty.
You're crazy.
But just give me a box of Cheerios, plain Cheerios any day of the week.
You see, I'm like, give me like Fruity Pebbles, give me Frosted Flakes, like give me that shit.
No, give me Cheerios. Give me just like an Italian loaf of bread. Give me like Belgian
Well, I could do
beer.
that.
I just bread.
I have on plenty of occasions when I go grocery shopping, just get myself just like, oh, look at this box of croissants. I'm just gonna get that and I'm just gonna eat it.
Bread's
Bread.
great. Bagels. It's just we grew up in New York. It's just how it
Yeah.
is. Bread.
We're made of bread.
Oh God. 78% bread. Not water.
Doughy boys Gamescast.
The Dough Boys.
That's what we should have been called, the Doughboys.
Ew.
And then we could have had like rap singles.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Game Harbor.
Oh wow, are we going into that lore?
Throwback.
Are we doing that? Maybe we'll just leave that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. That's a story for another day.
Yeah, another week.
Another week.
Maybe
oh wait,
next-
no, we're
maybe
supposed to continue. Get out! I hate you.
Oh right. Fuck. I mean, yeah. I'm getting out of here.
I hope you leave this state.
I will.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no, trust me. You won't see me here, bitch.
Tune in next week, episode 54 of the Offshore Gamescast. Is Dave gonna leave the state?
Oh my God, is he? I mean, he kind of has to at this point.
I mean, like, kind of ignore the last like 10 minutes of the show, and it'll really build the suspense.
Ignore the whole show.
Ignore the whole show, and the suspense will be crazy.
It'll be nuts.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.